the Galaxy, Volume 3, Steve. I think I'm officially done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm done. I
can never watch a movie again and just move on with my life. There's like a handful that happened that I will revisit at some point.
And three of them are Guardians of the Galaxy.
But I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's fine. It's not
Is it
bitter.
freeing? Do you feel free?
I do.
After Thor, that was it.
The weight of 60 CGI nightmares is lifted off of my shoulders, and now I can move on to the next stage of my life.
The nightmare will always be with you, though. It's all part of it with you forever. Oh, that's funny.
That's fair. You know, the first Guardians came out 9 years ago? Talking about how we're old and how we're gonna die soon and how time flies.
God, it was a good movie though when it first came out.
It was awesome. It's not just like a good shitty superhero movie, it's a good sci-fi movie.
Good sci-fi movies. Well, that's what...
And the second one's pretty good as well.
That's what we always talked about though. We always talked about the sort of... It's kind of breaking new ground as far as like the Marvel movies are concerned, or at least it did back then, right?
It felt different in the landscape of Star Trek and Star Wars and like Stargate, the 5 like sci-fi IPs that are vomited into our mouths again and again and again. For the time, a decade ago, it felt different and new and fresh. And it's kind of sad that they could get dragged down with all the other murky messes of Doctor Strange and the Who Cares-averse and Ant-Man and the Quantum Solace and shit.
Luckily though, the Guardians films are not tied. They're not too joined to the hip with the rest of the Marvel movies.
I mean, Gamora dies in Infinity War, but that's a good movie.
Okay, here's a question.
Fine.
Here's a question for you. So I talked to you about the Christmas special. Is that where a lot of this other stuff happened? Like the stuff with the grandfather and finding out that Mantis is his sister and stuff like that? Yeah,
finding out that Mantis is Quill's sister was in the Christmas special. The grandpa thing, he's just in like the first scene of the first one when
I thought that was the father.
Quill's mum is dying of cancer.
Okay, because I felt a bit lost. In the beginning, I was like,
who owns these characters?
What's happening?
Where am I?
Where am I? What's going on? But that's fine. Doesn't really matter, I guess. You kind of pick it up.
Yeah, that's fair. You have to keep up to date with all the Disney Plus specials and shows, otherwise you're lost.
This is the only one of the Guardians films where I thought the majority of the like just straight up music was out of place.
There's some weird moments where, and it happens in the first two as well, like there'll be like an action sequence and they'll lay like really mellow music on top of it and stuff. I've just come off watching the first two, so I'm kind of like aware and down with it, but the first two do that as well. Like they'll lay like not at all what you'd expect for the sequence, just some random like 70s song on top of some sequence. I liked all the like actual songs, but the original score, I always have a problem with original scores for some reason. Like the soppy like minor chords on the violin and stuff, they always just like, they're too generic and like they're like trying to manipulate me and get me to get the feels.
I don't think it was too on the nose, the original score.
Pretty subtle.
Again, I think for some of the scenes, the straight up songs were a bit on the nose.
That's
right. It just felt like it had a little bit of tonal inconsistency with some of those things, right? Because they sort of get you going, they get you pumped, but they're playing it. We have the setup with Rocket and all that sort of stuff. It's really great, by the way, right? And then like where he's on the operating table or whatever, and then they're going to set off to do the thing to sort out the MacGuffin or whatever, right? And they start playing a song, and it's just like a really jarring tonal shift, right? Because it's like they should be super serious, right? And I understand, James Gunn's always been the best at sort of weaving between the two, being serious and not, right? But just in those, there were a couple of moments there where it just kind of went, ooh.
That's fair. I think they worked for me for the most part, but it is like an interesting like juxtaposition of two different, like, there's an action sequence when they're in like that, I don't know, organic
That was
gate
cool.
ring thing, and the song they're playing while they're fucking up everyone is like a relatively like slow.
Yeah.
Not sad, but it's not like an upbeat like rock song.
It's not like Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
No, don't bring up Thor. We're done with Thor, Steve.
Yeah, otherwise I thought it was really good.
Did you get the feels? Because I guess the whole thing is kind of pinned on like the emotional beats, and if you don't care, like that doesn't work.
I did care, but actually what's funny is they had this entire arc of Rocket, and I thought it was excellent.
The whole movie was kind of Rocket's movie.
Well, so they save Rocket,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where the movie should have ended, around there, but then they reset up another conflict and reset. That's fine if they want to go after the high evolutionists. That's fine, right? But they set out what they want to do, and then here's children, right? Oh, well, they got to save the children.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we reset all our characters. They're in compromising positions. We've reset them all again, put them all in jeopardy, and now we're doing it again.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't. I personally don't think we needed the big CGI nightmare at the end.
Yeah.
Right? I think that extra like 20 minutes
Yeah.
should have been
It
gone.
was some kind of thematic tie-up and giving resolution to Rocket's horrific origin story, I guess. Because you see him go through all this fucking shit, and it's like a nightmare hellscape of like biomechanical animals that are all tortured and fucked up. And then the resolution to that is he saves cute animals, I guess.
But yeah, I think the. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they just kind of like inserted another chunk there. They kind of, it's like all your characters are progressing and moving forward in the story.
Yeah.
And then they grab them and pull them back again.
Yeah.
Just to reset it up so we can have more.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like.
That's fair.
Otherwise, yeah, the Rocket stuff was amazing and horrifying. Now, again, in saying that, there was a moment there where they're showing this horrifying nightmare, and they play some like 70s song or something.
Yeah.
And again, it was kind of like really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's not happy or upbeat or anything. It's a nightmare.
Juxtapositioning two different emotions on top of each other to make some kind of...
I don't think it was well executed
That's
in
fair.
those couple of moments, and that was another one of them.
That's fair, that's fair.
Otherwise, yeah, like even though the characters were all CGI and stuff, I cared, and I thought it was fucking,
If they put the time and effort into setting up the otter and the walrus and the bunny.
The nightmare bunny.
Bunny was so fucked up. And yeah, they killed them, and you knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh no, it's fair. I'm in, I care, I'm invested.
Could you imagine the adventures of Rocket and the Nightmare Bunny? Like, had they not, they can't not kill them, right? Because they're nightmare creatures. Right?
Yeah. I was surprised how kind of dark it was, considering like the last couple of fucking Marvel Cinematic Universes. It didn't seem particularly aimed specifically to kids. There were some like moments where kids... It ends happily with them saving all the children and the cute animals. But in the middle there's some darkness that the kids aren't gonna fully enjoy or fully get a kick out of.
I thought it was really funny because we've complained before where we'll have this setup of like in one of these movies and they'll be doing some grand like crazy sci-fi thing or whatever, and then they'll go to Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And we've complained about that, and it just kind of feels like they're part of like the setup and everything was to just go back to Earth again. Which, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
What do you mean, at the end or the weird...
The counter Earth.
Yeah.
They've just gone back to Earth again.
Yeah, but
right.
the animals and the doing drugs.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like, the fucking,
Doctor Who.
Yeah, it wasn't like...
We're on this grand, epic, amazing space adventure. We're in London, modern day.
Yeah.
Grand, epic space... London, modern day. That's a budgetary thing, though.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
fair.
well, maybe we can set this story in modern day London.
So I think that's fine, and I think a couple of the comedy sort of things, I've almost been kind of ruined by the last Thor movie, right? Because they'll do something and it's supposed to be funny, and it's not funny.
Yeah. There wasn't as much humour in this one as the first two, I feel. I feel like there were moments where there was like a serious moment happening and I was waiting for them to undercut it with humour.
Sure.
And they didn't, and I was like, oh, okay.
And that was nice.
Just like a sad moment or a happy moment. There were, yeah, it was just kind of their banter, talking to each other, I guess, where the humour comes. I like the way that they're always all fucking angry and just screaming at each other and calling each other dickheads. And Mantis, I love Mantis.
Yeah,
when
she's great.
she starts yelling, just her voice, something about it, I'm like, yes, I'm in. Yell more, Mantis.
Yeah, so I think this could have been like a perfect movie if they trimmed it down straight up to just all the rocket stuff. I think they and maybe cut away a couple of the fucking comedic quips and things like that.
Yeah.
Or comedic setups, and it could have been perfect. I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had a really great time, but I was getting a bit on at the end.
It's 2 hours 20, and it's always like, I watched Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade recently, and it's fucking amazing because you get the final action sequence and they're on the horses and they ride off into the sunset, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
This has like 4 or 5 different little moments. Like, Return of the King has like an hour of endings, and this is the last one.
Yeah.
So I guess they've kind of earned Quinn, what's his fucking name?
Quill.
Star-Lord. Going back, I'm like Gamora. I don't remember this character.
I don't care about the Gamora thing. I don't know. I think they probably could have done well. I guess they were trying to resolve her having died, or I guess not died, or whatever, with Quill, and they're trying to resolve that. But I could have been alright with just her going away.
I'm glad that they didn't resolve anything at the end. They kind of get a little bit of you're okay, but they didn't fall in love, and they didn't reset it all. It was just she goes back to the Ravagers and Quill goes to his family, and that's it.
Some things have changed permanently, which is always nice.
Yeah.
A bit of permanence with the changes with your characters is always nice.
I thought, they should have killed a main character. Rocket dying would have been cool, or Quill, they kind of set that up and they don't. Or Rocket just dying there on the thing. For a second, I'm like, are they going to do this? This would be amazing.
It would have been amazing. If he'd walked off into the light with the fucking nightmare creatures, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
It would have made the movie about 1,000,000 times better.
Yeah, but they never fucking kill anybody.
But that's what I mean, though. If they killed him and then just they escape the ship and then they mourn him and whatever and they move on, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
There's nothing resolved. It just
right? Ends on a sour
it just
note.
kind of ends, right?
Look, it's dead. Roll credits. Fuck you, audience.
Or they use that opportunity to take it out on the High Evolutionist or something.
Yeah. What do you think about him as a villain?
Oh, I thought he was great.
He screamed a lot.
Yeah, it was a bit dumb, but I thought the concept was really great.
It wasn't kind of his story. It was Rocket's story, and he was just there to benefit Rocket. And I thought he did what he needed to do. The actor was good. He was always yelling and screaming at people.
It was a nice character design.
And interesting. He's just mutating animals and creating all these evolutionary paths and just trying to create some perfect world that's all fucked up and dark and so imperfect that it's unbelievable.
Yeah, his goals and stuff were just weird and dumb. Right, because they obviously weren't panning out, right?
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't matter.
And you can't create a perfect environment with such darkness and lack of empathy or love. It doesn't make any sense.
But that's fine. It's fine to have a megalomaniac sort of villain that it says he's doing all this stuff and he wants to do this thing. And
he was just there to serve Rocket's story, which is Rocket had a hard upbringing, son.
Yeah, it certainly did. Yeah, no, that was fucking. That pulled on me, and that was good. It was real good.
Yeah. We need to talk about James Gunn. He got fired from Disney because he made some tweet a decade ago. He went, I think this is the story, I could be wrong, but he went to a Halloween party and he was dressed as a priest. And he had some caption on Twitter.
That's right.
And he was a pedophile priest, and Disney was like, "You're fired.
Yeah.
You can't make a joke about pedophiles."
And then he went to DC, and then he went
did
back.
the Suicide Squad, and then I think Dave Bautista, and maybe a couple of other ones, but definitely Dave Bautista was
They wanted him back.
He was like, "I'm not doing Drax without James Gunn. You can get The Rock to play Drax.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck." Which is fair enough.
I'm sure they talked about it.
Which is fair enough because James Gunn did write and direct the first two and bring these characters into the mainstream cinemaverse, and I like the Disney backtracked here, went back to James Gunn, but he's done now and he's gonna start something with DC. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna watch any of that. I'm done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the most part.
I'm done with superheroes. I'm done with all that sort of
It's
stuff. I don't
been
care.
like 15 years of our lives, Stephen.
It's actually amazing that it's kind of, it is like a flash in the pan, right?
I think it's dying off.
It is dying off. Yeah, it is happening.
This movie doesn't seem as busy as like other movies. I work at the movies and like I see who comes into the movies and there seems to be a steady drop off. And they're like more like little. We've seen like a trailer for like an Australian kind of independent thing before the movie and stuff. Like I think the superhero thing it's slowly petering off. It'll be there, but it won't be like every movie at the movies is a superhero movie from now until the end of time.
But they're doing the writer's strike now, so that's what they're going to fall back on, right?
Well, I think they're going to go back to like kind of lower budget things. That's how you make your money. You don't make your money from $200 billion films. You make them
that's
from
done.
Yeah, a
We're
couple
done.
$1 million Australian independent.
Or Avatar.
Or Avatar. Actually, I don't know. Well, Avatar made a lot of money.
And made a lot of
It's like
money.
the third biggest grossing movie of all time.
And the other two are like Avatar. The other one is Avatar.
Avatar 1 and Titanic. I think.
Yeah.
Endgame's in there somewhere.
Yeah. So it is interesting, and I'll be glad. I just kind of view the Guardians as like a separate thing.
Yeah, it always felt of a higher caliber of just more interesting and different and obscure, and I like the weirdness. There's so many like scenes going on and there's so many elements happening and there's all these weird creatures in these weird places doing these weird obscure things. To me, they always stuck out as different and better and just more engaging on a sci-fi level. And yeah, they did it, I guess. They wrapped it up. It ended. I'm happy. They were happy. Rocket got a fucking movie.
Yep.
Old mate went off and seen his grandpa. We're done. We can move on.
That's it.
He got fired for making a joke about pedophile priests, but they brought him back. He did his movie. That's it. We can move on with our lives.
No. They're doing the Flash and they're doing the thing and it's happening. They're doing Ant-Man 10 into the Spider-Verse or something.
I mean, they are. I'm not going to be watching them.
No,
I'm done.
I normally wouldn't go to the movies anyway, right? But
I forced you.
yeah, you forced me with
And are you happy that I forced you?
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah,
it was well worth it. I'll see this. I'll see Dune.
Yeah,
that's probably
Dune
it
for sure.
Yeah.
They'll be the last movies you ever see at the cinema.
I can live with that.
I love the movies. They're so like big
is
and
good.
loud and
Yeah, it is good. You
just
fit.
cunts eating the popcorn and yelling out.
That was funny. At least there wasn't a person eating chips behind you this time.
That was John Wick. The chip incident was John Wick. And every other movie I've ever seen. But recently, John Wick. Yeah, I think overall it was good. I was invested in the emotional beats, and that is the whole crux
That's
and
the whole
whole point of the movie. So if you're emotionally invested in like the Nightmare Otter and the walrus in a wheelchair
And the Nightmare Bunny.
and the Nightmare Bunny and Quill going back to Grandpa and Gamora not getting a resolution, and I wanted Drax and Manus to hook up, but they didn't, and that's kind of good as well.
That's fine.
Yeah. It ended, they danced and rolled credits.
Yay!
We can
The
move
dancing
on.
was dumb. The dancing was real dumb. They didn't mean to do that.
What did you think? I thought when they were saving the kids and the animals that you were going to be like, fuck this. I don't want to see any of this.
That was annoying me. I was tired. I was pretty. I was starting to become disinvested at that point.
You only have Steven for 2 hours and then he's like an hour.
Well, they had the story. They had the resolution of the story, and it was
They
good.
need to kill old mate, was it the high evolutionist?
Yeah, that's true.
They need to kill him, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to
Well,
see
they
him
didn't
again.
kill him. Oh, yeah,
Oh, they didn't kill him, did they?
Oh, no.
They should have killed him!
Yeah,
They ripped his face off.
His face was already ripped off. They ripped his
Rocket
face.
should have been like, this is for whatever the names were, Sky and
Yeah,
Floor and
yeah. That's a bit too
teeth. And then
dark.
showed a gore shot of like brains.
Oh no, that's right.
splattering.
They can't because they're the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? That was the reason.
Weren't they always like misfits and criminals? Thieves, I guess. They weren't like blatant murderers.
Well, again, as I said, it seems to me a lot of things have changed in that Christmas special I didn't watch.
That's fair.
So I didn't even know. I was a little bit lost with a couple of it, but I guess that's on me.
Yeah, the Christmas special was good, I think. It was like a 1980s television Christmas special.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like tonally, that's what it was. Like corny and cheap and cheesy.
Yeah,
and
like
low
the Star
budget
Wars
and-
Christmas special.
Yeah, it was like the Star Wars Christmas
That's
special.
fine. That's fine.
what they were doing.
If you can get away with it, then that's fine.
I think they executed a corny 80s Christmas special well.
There you go.
It was funny.
I'll take your
It
word.
was funnier than this. This was fucking dark and sad.
Some of it was funny.
They were laughed out loud.
Some of it was trying to be funny. It wasn't funny.
Alright, Steve, let's move on with our lives
That's
now.
it. I'm moving on.
And see what's the next hour in entertainment.
Dude.
And then nothing.
Ever again.
Mm.
Doom Part 3.
We'll just watch DS9 on repeat.
I'll just keep watching Stargate.
That's
Watching
it. I mean, Stargate's coming back. That's gonna be a thing.
No. I'm done. Huh? I'm done. I'm
You're
finished.
done with the new Amazon Stargate series.
I'm done with Amazon. They can suck
But
an
the
egg.
Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings were so good. And Picard.
I'm not gonna watch Picard. That's not a thing.
Don't watch Picard.
I'm not gonna. You said I should.
No, I didn't. I said
You
season 3 was
you
pretty
said-
good.
That's what you.
I didn't say watch it. Don't watch it. It was pretty good.
Don't ever watch it.
It was shocking that it was pretty good.
That's fair.
Don't watch it.
That's funny.
Don't watch anything.
Just watch shitty meme videos
Given
on
the
YouTube.
opportunity, never watch anything again.
I'll take those words to heart.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you all. And good night.
Namaste.
Arigato.